KXVS Radio.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Julie Damron, local veterinarian for over 20 years. I am so excited about my new radio show, Tales and Tips, on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Voice of Stockton, and KXVS Radio. I will discuss relevant issues affecting animals and pet owners today, how to avoid common problems, and how to extend the quality of life for your cherished companions. As a community advocate, I will also discuss important social issues that affect our city. I plan to showcase organizations and heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
KXVS LP Stockton. The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Good morning, Stocktonians, and welcome to another episode of Tales and Tips. I am honored to have Carol Richardson with me, the director of the Pregnancy Help Center. Before we talk to Carol, I'm going to give a quick PSA. Many of you may or may not know that we actually now have a professional basketball team in Stockton. We are so fortunate to have Rockets Team Trouble, and I'm going to show you the upcoming schedule. I was going to show you. There we go. All right. Here's our upcoming schedule for Rockets Team Trouble. And their next game is going to be, their next home game is going to be on February 3rd. And I just wanted to give a shout out to James, who's the owner, and James Paul, and we are so fortunate to have a professional team that is composed and comprised of members of our community, and they're playing some amazing basketball. I was fortunate enough to be courtside at yesterday's game and watch them win 124 to 117 against the only team that has beaten them so far. They are actually ranked 9th. They're probably higher now out of 120 teams. So, and the games are free. So all you have to do is go to the ticket center at the Stockton Arena, and again, the team's name is Rockets Team Trouble. Go ahead and support them. The next game is February 3rd, and the other next home game after that is February 19th and March 1st, March 9th. Go and see some amazing basketball. The players are phenomenal. Huge number of three-point shots. The team is so tough that a lot of teams in Sacramento don't want to play them. So go and see them. And without further ado, let's welcome Carol Richardson. Thank you so much, Carol, for being here today.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here with you, Julie. Really, and about the basketball game, I can say it is a lot of fun because I went, and I'm not necessarily a basketball fan, but on Sunday we went to the 209 game. Yay! And I took a girlfriend who is a basketball fan, and we had a really fun time. We sat down close, and it was wonderful. Brad Stahl from the First Baptist Church did the invocation, and it was just a great way to spend an afternoon. So I encourage everybody to get out there and really support this team.
And they're so community focused. And once again, the tickets are free. Yes, you heard that correctly. The tickets are free. All you have to do is to go to the arena box office and you can get your tickets and walk in. And it's just a fun time. Yep. And it's a great family atmosphere.
Yeah, I agree. It was great. Really enjoyed it.
All right. So tell us about the Pregnancy Help Center.
Well, the Pregnancy Help Center has been around for since 1981. It was founded by 3 nuns, I believe, back in 1981, and they just really wanted to provide resources and encourage women in a crisis pregnancy. And so we have continued their legacy. We've moved 3 times, I believe, and now we are over on Rosemary Lane, about 50 feet away from Planned Parenthood, which is a very strategic place to be, because we're able to reach many of the women who are going there and they are in a crisis pregnancy, or they don't know what to do and they need to know what their choices are. And what we do there is we just give them the information that they need to have to make an intelligent choice. They need to know everything about what's going on. And that's what we do. We come alongside them. We show them love and concern. I have wonderful volunteers there that are counselors, peer counselors, and they welcome the clients into the center, and they talk with them, and they pray with them, and they help them to understand what's happening to them, and just really work out how do I deal with this? How do I handle this pregnancy if they're alone, if they're married? We have women that are coming in that are married with children that don't see how they can afford this child. They really need referrals and help.
Do you give financial help, or are you strictly giving referrals?
We do referrals, and we do resource help. We have a lot of resources, clothing. People from this community are just so amazing. They come by and they drop off donations of money, and they drop off donations of furniture for babies. We have
diapers.
Diapers. We are actually having a diaper dash. KYCC, I believe it is having a diaper dash with us.
Awesome.
And the Christian radio station. And they are this Friday, actually, it is, I believe. And between 3 and 6, we're gonna be standing out in front of the Hobby Lobby off of March Lane, and KYCC will be there. That's the first fundraiser or event that we have had since I've been to the pregnancy center. I've only been the executive director for 6 weeks. I started on December 1st. So it's going to be lovely.
December 1st is amazing. I can't believe that you've been there such a short time, but you're already having such a huge impact.
Well, I hope to have more of an impact. I mean, Stockton is an amazing place. We came from Florida. My husband came here to take the job as the CEO at the Gospel Center Rescue Mission. And so I was working there before this. I was working just office, and then I started fundraising, and I was the major gift officer there. And then I started as the director of major gifts. And then I saw the opportunity to become the executive director at the Pregnancy Help Center, and I applied, and they felt that I was the right person, so they hired me.
Well, and there's overlap, because at Gospel Center Rescue Mission, they also help women that are homeless or dealing with issues with pregnancy. And unfortunately, it's a common thing in our community, and we'll talk numbers in a little bit. I'd like you to go back and kind of define the categories that crisis encompasses. Like, what people will you help? Are there people that is there anyone, and I already know you're going to say no, but is there anyone that you'll turn away? I mean, why do people come to you for help? Kind of list the common reasons.
Well, often a woman will discover she's pregnant or think she's pregnant, and she will be afraid. She can be married or not. Often it's someone who doesn't have the resources. They're poor, and they are wondering, how am I going to have this child? What kind of support do I have? Maybe they don't have a support system.
Or medical, maybe they don't have insurance.
Often there are all kinds of things. Yes, there are. They don't have insurance. There's many reasons.
There's single mothers.
Single mothers. But like I said, we have had women come in that are married, and they have a couple of children, and they just don't see how they can have this child. So we will come alongside them and determine how they can be helped, what we can do for them, and then we have, of course, a lot of community referrals. You can have your baby. You know, there are a couple of ways that we talk to them. Having your baby and parenting it, having an abortion, or having giving the child up for adoption. Those are 3 ways that some way you have to deal with this pregnancy. And just being able to talk out all those options. What does an abortion look like? What are the consequences if they make that choice? How are they going to feel? Emotionally, physically, just spiritually.
Well, and I'm sure you also talk about healthcare and how to take good care of themselves so that they have a higher chance of having a healthy baby. I had March of Dimes on here a couple months back, and unfortunately, our county has the highest rate of premature birth in California, and they're working hard to change that, but you have the opportunity to really make a change in that, because women come to you and you can give guidance when you need to take your vitamins, you need to eat well and such to make sure that your baby is born healthy.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I think is wonderful is we have an Earn While You Learn program. If a woman becomes a client and decides, she's either going to have the baby or for whatever reason, she comes in and she can do the Earn While You Learn, where she comes in and watches videos and sits with a peer counselor and learns about so many things. I mean, I wish I had that when I had my son, how to bond with your baby while the baby's still inside of you.
There's
what to do and what
learn.
not to do. I mean, they go all the way to how to prevent sexual abuse when your child is born. Parenting, they do parenting classes. Just so much to know, and so many things that we may not necessarily know when we get pregnant. What to expect from your body. What are Braxton Hicks? These things
There's a
are
lot
just,
to know.
it can
And it
take
can be
a
overwhelming.
lot and it can take a lot of the fear away of what do I expect. They talked about, colicky babies. What is a colicky baby? How to lay your baby down. That's changed over the years. The lay them on their stomach. How to deal with to protect your baby
so they
from
don't suffocate.
So, I didn't get any of that. My son is now 30 years old, and I praise God that nothing happened to him, because I'm looking at, they clear the crib out now because of SIDS. They say, put your baby. I had a crib full of stuff. I look back on that and think
normal.
I didn't
Stuffed
know.
animals,
Right.
things that light up,
Yeah.
things to entertain the baby. I mean, I think that's normal. And you go into Babies R Us and you don't see a bare crib.
Right. And that's, so I learned a lot just looking through the curriculum, paging through it and seeing all the things that our wonderful volunteers and peer counselors sit with these young ladies and just lovingly teach them that stuff.
And going back to something that you touched on while the pregnancy is going on, and talking to your child and reading to your child. Recently, I went to a UOP's program Beyond Our Gates, and we were talking about literacy and even pre-birth. You can read to your child, talk to your child, and it will drastically increase their vocabulary and what they know and give them a head start. And I mean, it's shocking and phenomenal to think about that, how much the things that you're eating and the things that you're doing and the words you're using and what you're saying has an effect on your child even before they're born.
Yes, absolutely. One of the pages that I was looking at that I had never seen before was a specific chemical, and each month it showed what part of your baby's development it would be most susceptible to being affected by this particular chemical. I never knew that. I was 15 when Roe versus Wade was passed, and I had my child, I think, when I was close to 30. But there's just all these things that we teach these young ladies that is just wonderful. Yeah. So.
Do you have people come to you that are victims of physical abuse?
Oh, absolutely. We have women that come in from all gamuts. It's really so sad. We have women that are victims of having been raped, having had the date rape drug, and they wake up and remember nothing. And then the next thing you know, they're pregnant. They could have been a virgin. They could have been, in a permanent relationship, married. And there's just so much victimization going out there. It's frightening.
Are there some numbers that you can give to our listeners where they can reach out for help?
Yes, the Pregnancy Help Center, the phone number is 209-933-9131. And you can call and either leave a message or someone will pick up. We are open every day except Tuesday, and we hope to be open Tuesday soon.
And they can also contact 911.
Yes.
Do you work with the Women's Center at all?
I have not contacted the Women's Center, but I am sure that my director at the Pregnancy Center, Monica Martinez, she has worked with them, I'm sure. She's been there for quite a while, and she's really a blessing. So I'm sure she has. I've only been there for 6 weeks now, so I'm really
amazing.
Still jumping into the water and learning the community and what we can do. So it's been great.
And I just want to say that I'm so proud of you because I know that this is a big challenge. I know you were involved with a university before and running a university, but this is completely different. And you're just so amazing. I've been so excited to work with you through Lions and do so much community outreach. And you are a person who just jumps in and starts working now, like the second that you're there. And you're laughing because it's true. I know that our club is just so honored and privileged to have you as a member of Lions, and you just do amazing things wherever you go.
Oh, thank you. I always feel like I'm getting in the way sometimes.
You're never in the way.
I love Lions, and I love this community. And coming here from my last job, I worked as the Dean of Student Life at a small Bible college, South Florida Bible College in Florida, and Deerfield Beach, actually.
How many students?
Well, we had a couple of hundred students. It was small, but since I came on board, it was about 4 years, we grew just unbelievably. And I just spoke with the president, who has become a very good friend of mine, and they've moved and they've gone to a larger campus.
Wow, awesome.
So it's really exploding
awesome.
there.
So your legacy continues.
Yes, and I really loved that job, but it was a completely different animal. I did work in the crisis pregnancy arena years ago when I was going to college. I was a little older as a college student. I was 48 when I started college. And I was the director of development at a local pregnancy center in New York.
Wow.
And
that must have been busy.
It was. We had a pretty decent staff, but it was it just started, and I became kind of the face of the organization because the president became ill. So I was out speaking at churches and helping with fundraising and so forth and so on.
Stuff you're going to be doing right now.
Absolutely, because that is the job of the executive director.
And we talked about a speech that you're going to be giving at some local churches.
Mm-hmm.
And
right. We have Sanctity of Human Life Month, which is at the end. It's usually the third Sunday in January, and it commemorates the Roe versus Wade decision so many years ago, back in 1973. And it basically focuses on the sanctity of human life, all life, not just unborn or preborn babies. But, we have this situation now where we're talking about euthanizing people as they get older even. And the Catholic Church has it right. You have to really respect life all the way through, from beginning to end, and not the taking of life. We need a culture of life, not a culture of death. And I have to say that Stockton is amazing, with people like yourself who have welcomed my husband and I in with open arms. I know he got phone calls from local churches just welcoming him and inviting him.
Awesome.
And when I call the
He's
churches
phenomenal
now,
also. Yeah. It's not just you. You guys are a dynamic duo.
He's amazing. He is my hero.
Let's give him a shout out.
Yeah. Hey,
name him.
Hi, Wayne. He's Wayne Richardson, as the CEO of this Gospel Center Rescue Mission.
He followed my husband, Bill Brown.
Absolutely. And Bill is mentored him and has been wonderful there. And I know when we would have our meetings at the Gospel Center Rescue Mission, the managers meetings, and Bill came, and it was just so different when Bill was there because he has such history. So Bill is such an integral part of that. And I just thank God for him and yourself.
But Wayne is doing amazing things.
Yeah,
Wayne is taking it to a higher level. Bill may have started the foundation of certain programs, but Wayne is expanding things, and he's just going to be such a tremendous asset. He already is, and he will continue to be.
Well, God brings different people at different times for different reasons. And Bill was there for such a time as he was called. And then my husband is there for such a time. Mm-hmm. And each person, if they're responding to the call that they're meant to fulfill will come in and do their part.
They'll put their own trademark on
right,
things.
and move it forward to a place where maybe someone else wouldn't have been able to picture. So everybody has their skills. And
do you have a sense, going back to the Pregnancy Help Center, of how many women annually that you're helping?
I know that that the statistics for abortion here is there are 4,000 abortions done in San Joaquin County, and
In a year?
in a year,
Wow,
and
that's shocking. You
3,000
should repeat that.
There are, about 4,000 abortions performed in San Joaquin County. And 3,000 of them happen right down the street from us in the Planned Parenthood, 50 feet away. And if you do the math, that boils down to 11 people a day in Stockton are being killed.
That's earth-shattering.
And that's really... I mean, we look at the murder statistics here, and they just kind of pall in response to that. It's like 11 people a day who will never take a breath and never come out and live their life.
And do you know a comparison, like when you said you worked in New York? Do you know what that level is currently in New York or Los Angeles or any big city?
I know that I haven't got the statistics for that, and it's been a long time. It was back in 2007, 2008 that I worked there. I know that since Roe versus Wade was enacted, there's approximately 60,000 abortions have been performed. And you have to remember that not just the babies that are gone, but there are 60,000 men, women, and families walking around scarred by that experience, knowing that that happened. Back when Roe versus Wade was passed, like I said before, I was 15, 16 years old. And I remember a girlfriend having 2 abortions back to back. And when she eventually got married, she could not get pregnant. Another girlfriend had an abortion, and years later, she eventually did have another child. There's been so many people that have told me after a speech, when I spoke in New York, I haven't had a chance to speak here yet. I have my next speaking date will be at Quail Lakes Church this coming Sanctity of Human Life Sunday. But I know that every time I spoke, and I spoke a lot, 3 or 4 women would come up to me at all ages, 60 and 70 years old, and tell me a story about what they experienced, whether it was their own abortion or whether it was a friend or a family member and they're still living with the pain of that. I would urge anyone who has experienced an abortion and has not gotten post-abortion counseling to get it. Get post-abortion counseling. We provide post-abortion counseling if someone calls and says, I experienced an abortion and I really haven't dealt with it. God is there to forgive them. There is no condemnation in Christ. So they need to come in and really sit down with somebody and get some counseling. It's very important.
And what kind of multilingual services do you offer? Let's say someone comes to you and they don't speak English.
We have Spanish.
Awesome.
Yes, we do have Spanish. We have a Spanish speaking.
Okay. Do you have any other languages?
That I'm not sure of. Unfortunately, I have met most of my volunteers, but I haven't met all of them.
Okay.
I'm kind of over on the one side of the house, and I'm in and out of the other side of the house. We have if anybody hasn't been to the Pregnancy Help Center, it's really a lovely office.
Where is it?
It's on 829 Rosemary Lane, and it's right off of March Lane. And it's a really lovely office. It's called the Precisi Complex. It's very nice. And we have 3 medical offices, although we are not a medical facility. We have 3, and we have a mobile unit. We have a mobile unit that can go out. That's one of the unique things about the Crisis Pregnancy Center. First of all, we don't make any money or any profit from those girls coming in, the women coming to us. So we have nothing to gain or lose except the emotional and physical health. Yes, we are there truly with their best interests at heart. We don't tell them what to do. We don't coerce them. We just give them all the information they need, and then they have to make their decision. So it's been, it's really very, it's wonderful. Last Friday, the mobile unit came and parked outside, and we were so busy. We had appointments in the mobile unit doing sonograms all day. We had appointments in the office all day.
And you say you're not medical, but you're doing ultrasound.
Yes. But it is not a medical. We have nurses that are trained in sonography to do sonograms. And the statistics on sonograms, it's one of the best ways to really showcase that this is a life. The baby's heart starts beating and can be seen on a sonogram in 18 days.
Wow.
And when you see that, it's a unique window into the womb. You see, this is, and you hear it beating, and you just are convinced. It's very convincing. And about 87% of the women who have a sonogram and hear that heartbeat and experience that it's a life, it's not just this mass of flesh, choose life. So.
And when your organization does that, are you also looking for birth defects, or are you strictly doing that just to show them that they can see their baby and hear the heartbeat?
No, we don't. We're not looking for birth defects. I'm not sure about the medical side of when you can find birth defects and when you can see them, and I think that's a medical issue. That would be something. But then you're connecting. That is a reason that people get sonograms, but that's not the reason that we do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And going back to your phone number, and I'll have you repeat that again. Is that a 24-hour number?
No, I don't believe it is. You can leave a message and someone will call you back.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And do you have a website?
Yes, we do. It's phcstockton.org. It stands for Pregnancy Help Center, Stockton.org.
Awesome. How about a Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page. If you just go to Facebook and Pregnancy Help Stockton, it'll come up.
And when these women who decide that they're going to have their baby, do you do any celebration? Do you have any after pictures?
Yeah. We try to get pictures. Awesome. I know we sent out a Christmas card. I was privileged to be there. The 1st to the 5th of December was right around when I started, and they had ordered Christmas cards with all the babies that were born in the year 2017, their names on the card, and it was really, awesome. Really nice to be able to see that. Yeah.
Excellent. And that statistic that you just gave about the percentage of women that will go on to have their children when they do a sonogram, that's pretty phenomenal when you think about how much influence that has.
Yeah, it can be very influential. Back when Roe versus Wade, and for many, many years, if you look at the statistics, the abortions are less now than they were back in I believe the 80s. It really skyrocketed for a long time there, but then that's when the pregnancy help centers and the crisis pregnancy centers just leaped into action. And like I said, the Catholic Church was right on top of it right away. The nuns started this. We're supported by the Catholic churches. They're really behind us. They've been wonderful. And the Baptist churches in the area. If you're a church and you don't know about us and you're not supporting in some way, I urge you to please call me and have a discussion with me, because the church needs to be the forefront of this. They need to be out there. They need to be talking about it in the pulpit.
You also.
And just really knowing about us also, just supporting, knowing about us. There are people that are monthly donors, individuals who they give $15 a month. That's so valuable. And a church might say, oh, we can't afford that. We can't afford to give a lot of money. That's okay.
It's not a lot. Every little bit helps. And
absolutely.
When you say that abortions are down, to be fair, we also should say that there's more options out there. Birth control is more available. There's more types of birth control. There's the morning after pill that has to have had some effect in that.
Well, the morning, those are very slippery slopes. The morning after pill, if you read about that, and there's a couple of them coming out, they're quite dangerous. And I don't want to get into the whole medical side of that, but we teach an abstinence prevention. That's our counseling, because I don't think there's any such thing as safe sex. It's frightening to think of all the things you're exposing yourself to. So we take the Christian side, and we believe that you know, abstinence is the best. So
And
we talk about that.
We should talk about what you just touched on, the different things that people are exposing themselves to.
Yeah. There's statistics that, you know, if you have one partner and you have only had one partner, you're not exposed to anything. But the minute you start to
Although that's
be
not
with,
necessarily true. It depends on what that partner has.
well, if they've never been with anybody else.
Yes,
So
that's true.
if neither one
That's
of you
true.
have ever been with, you know, so then you start to say, well, how many partners has this person been with? And the statistics of how many people you've been, because you're sleeping with everyone that they've ever slept with. And that's why STDs are at epidemic level, and, you know, AIDS and all the different, why would you want your children to go out and take that chance? When I raised my son, I looked at it and said, I don't want him doing any of that. I mean, as parents, we want to protect our children.
Of
So
course.
why wouldn't we give them the best information? And for me, it was respect women, whatever woman you're out there with and you're doing things with, that's somebody's mother. That's somebody's sister. That's somebody's
child.
future wife, somebody's child. You don't have a right to do anything unless you intend to marry her, unless you have the utmost respect for her or him. And just for me, that was the way we did it. And I was blessed that my son married his first, and they were together, and they still are, and they're 30, and they're madly in love with one another. I'm so
Awesome.
proud of them.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about funding. Where does the funding come from for the Pregnancy Help Center?
Our funding comes entirely from donors. That is individuals, churches,
So
and
no
people in our
government
community.
support at all.
I believe that there are some grants that we have gotten in the past. I
That's
think
different. You
got
apply
some
for
grants
that.
for that. Yeah, but right now we have donors that are just wonderful, and of course we can always use more. There's
And how
so
can
many
people
things.
reach out to you to donate?
They can reach out. On our website, we have the ability to donate. I'm working
Say your
on
website again.
Yeah, the website is phcstockton.org. And I'm working on some other easier ways. The website needs some work as far as maybe a one-time thing. I like the websites that if you feel like doing a one-time donation, you shouldn't have to go in and enter all your information. So I'm working on changing
Making
that.
it
I
streamlined.
have some wonderful IT people that are helping me. And
Awesome.
so yeah, people can send checks. They can call up and give us a Visa card. We take donations through Visa or
Awesome.
any kind of a credit card.
Awesome.
So we're
And
able to-
items, we talked earlier about diapers, clothing.
Yes.
Can you give kind of a list of what you need
there
routinely?
routinely we have car seats are huge. We get a lot of material like clothing and cribs.
Formula?
Formula. We don't so much take formula, but anybody who would like to donate. Often people stop by with different items that we can't use for various reasons, but we share those with other nonprofits. I would call the Gospel Center Rescue Mission. The ladies there, we always have babies there. Sometimes there's up to 25, 50 kids at the Gospel Center and
Yes.
pregnant women. So if we can't use it, we can share it with the various nonprofits in the area, the women's shelter. So it's definitely all
Stockton
comes
Shelter
in.
for the Homeless.
Absolutely, yeah. So we all share like that.
All right. So let's make a list, though. Clothing, baby clothing, women's
baby clothing. We do some maternity clothing. We have a small amount of maternity clothing. Anything to do with babies really is
Books.
something that
High chairs.
we don't get a lot of books, but high chairs, cribs.
Sorry, I'm always interested in books with my literacy
Yes.
interests, so I'm always plugging books.
Absolutely. Books are wonderful. I would rather read a good book than watch TV. So we'll be sitting on the couch and we'll be watching something and my husband will look over and I'll be gone. I'll be off reading something, I just always need a good book. So I agree with you there. Teaching your children to read and reading to them even when they're in the womb is one of the greatest ways you can educate your child.
And how about fundraisers? Any fundraisers coming up?
Yes, I am planning a banquet in May, right after Mother's Day. I
Awesome.
believe it's going to be over at what is now the community center at First Baptist Church. It used to be the Scottish Rite building. I attend First Baptist Church. with Brad Stahl as the pastor, and they have graciously offered me either the gymnasium or the Scottish Rites, which is now the community center.
Awesome.
So
do you know
that'll
the date
be wonderful.
in May?
I think it's going to be May 17th. It'll be the Thursday after Mother's Day. I thought that would be a nice time to have a banquet. And I have been blessed to have Bishop Blair, who is our bishop at this time. He is retiring, and he will be speaking. He's a lovely man. He's also coming on to my board.
Awesome. Wow,
yes.
That's amazing. That's kudos to you. That's phenomenal. That's great.
Growing my board.
Great.
And really getting the board up and running has been one of my top things
priorities.
I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something I'm also looking for. People that have a heart for the preborn. And
so you're looking for board members.
Absolutely.
People that are interested can
Yes.
reach out to you. How can
Yes.
they reach you personally for that?
They can reach me at the center. They can call and leave a message, or they can.
And what's the number?
That's 209-933-9131. And they can also email me.
Okay.
My email at the center is crichardson@phcstockton.org. It's the same as the website.
Awesome.
So it's pretty easy there.
And besides working on solidifying and strengthening your board, what are some of the other things that you've been able to implement in the past 6 weeks, and what are your future plans?
Well, the implementation is coming in the planning stages right now because I've been there 6 weeks. I'm really looking at the health of the organization. I'm looking at making sure that as many of our donor dollars as can be used towards serving our clients are used towards serving our clients. When you donate to somebody, you want to know that your money is going to help the clients, to help the needy. When you give your money to the homeless or to the pregnancy help center, that's what you want. You don't want it to really necessarily go to administration. Now, we all need an administration. We all have to have that.
However, a fact of an organization. It's a skeleton.
Yes. And so you want to be really, really good stewards of your donor dollars. So I'm looking at that, and I'm kind of retooling that system. And I'm looking at getting the medical mobile unit. We were planning on being out there almost every Friday this month. And I would really like to have that medical mobile unit out there every Friday, and I would like it out to visit the malls.
That's what I was going to ask you. Does it go anywhere besides in front of your facility?
No, it would. We really want to get it out there a lot. But a medical mobile unit does take money, gas and just the manning of it. You need nurses, sonographers, people to.
And are these people donating their time?
That many of them are, yes, they are.
Amazing.
We have nurses
Shout out
that
to them. That's
literally
awesome.
donate their time. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And we can always use more sonographers and nurses that are willing to come in and do the training and
wonderful
come alongside of us to help
awesome.
this. It's so gratifying. If you could have seen the look on the faces of some of my volunteers at the end of the day. I walked in last Friday. It was my first Friday there when the medical mobile unit was there. They were just glowing, and they were so happy to have been there to witness those what was going on.
And that's awesome.
And I have to shout out to my drivers. I had two drivers, one that was just come on board of the medical mobile unit.
Do you know their names?
Bob and Willie.
All right.
And Willie that was his first time, although he's driven trucks and he knows what he's doing. Couple of great Marines. When you want something done, ask a Marine. They were great. And you're always a Marine.
Hoorah.
So they were just can do, get it done guys.
Awesome.
And they came and they drove it, they set it up, they gassed it up. There's a little more to it when you have one of those big. It's a 40-foot mobile unit.
Awesome.
And you don't need a special license, though, which is interesting.
Do you know who sponsored the unit? How did you get the medical equipment?
I believe that someone donated the unit. I don't have
Awesome.
the name offhand. And it wasn't too long ago. I know my predecessor, Nikki Lowry, was in charge at the time when that was going on. That was a big push then.
Awesome.
And so it's our responsibility now to keep it going. But it takes money, it takes people, it takes time, it takes dedication. I believe today I have my 2 Marine gentlemen over at Les Schwab getting front tires because the front tires needed to be replaced. And that's not inexpensive. It was close to $800. Les Schwab is giving us a nice break.
Oh, shout out to Les Schwab.
Absolutely. Thank you. And there's a couple of churches that are talking about funding that particular item there.
I was going to ask, can you have advertising on this mobile vehicle?
Yes, we have the ability to do that, sponsorships and so forth. Yes,
all right.
We are talking about.
Are there any sponsors that you'd like to give a shout out to, or board members, anyone associated with the Pregnancy Help Center that you would like to give a shout out to?
Well, I'd like to shout out to Weibel. The Weibels, they're
Wines.
Wonderful friends, and
is that Fred Weibel?
Yeah,
that's in my
Fred
Rotary
and
Club.
Judy, lovely people.
They're amazing,
and
fabulous wine.
I haven't gotten to know a lot of the donors. I know that the Shonuffs are part of our family, and they are a foundation. We just have a great donor database that they're just so wonderful. I have to really dial in and start making phone calls to a lot of them and thanking them. So the medical, trying to think.
While you're thinking, I'm just going to give an extra shout out to Fred and Julie Weibel. Fred is our past Stocktonian of the Year, and he does so much in the community, flying pets all over to rehome them. And their facility, Weibel Wines, which it's wine and it's champagne, he donates that to so many different organizations. My Patriots Ball was the recipient of his Patriot wine, and I just want to give a shout out to him. He and Judy, they're both amazing pillars in our community.
Yeah, and our churches are just wonderful. Quail Lakes Baptist Church, First Baptist Church, Lincoln Presbyterian, and Presentation, the Catholic churches. They've all been really wonderful with supporting the Pregnancy Help Center. And if I have left someone out, please forgive me, because I am only there for 6 weeks now. So I'll be better the next time you have me, if you ever want me here again.
Of course I do. And anytime you have an event, when your gala is coming up, you're always welcome to come and do a PSA. And it's just one of the fortunate things our community is able to have the voice of Stockton, and we are a community radio station. I have this show because we're highlighting important, wonderful, amazing people and organizations in Stockton that are doing great things. And I like to say, I am the voice of Stockton. You are the voice of Stockton. We are the voice of Stockton, and it's really about community. And this is where it happens with great people like you and your organization that are doing really important things in our community that are changing people's lives.
Yes, I have to agree with you. I have lived in New York, Charlotte, Virginia Beach, Florida twice, New York twice, here. And I have never seen a community that is so tight. And when I go in 18 months, 19 months since we've been here, I feel like I was born here. I know so many people. I walk down the street.
That's awesome.
And see people, and I'm like, oh, I know that person.
Yes.
I know. I walked right outside the radio station.
I can't go anywhere without seeing someone I know.
Well, I like to think that Julie probably has like 2 sisters that look just like her. Because everywhere I go, I see her. If it's at the basketball game,
I walk fast.
If it's at the anywhere, literally any Lions event, any Rotary event, there's Julie. What is it? Wayne says, my husband says, if I climbed to the top of Mount Everest, Julie would be up there cooking a hot dog and hand it to me. She got there first.
Haven't done that yet. It's on my bucket list. I
like to say that Julie is also my veterinarian. She takes care of my little Chihuahua. Yes, I have a Chihuahua, a little chipper. And that's one of my big worries when I came here, because I couldn't find a veterinarian in Florida. It took me a while. And when I came here, the first aha moment was, oh, Julie Elizabeth, this is great. And you're very good at it.
Thank you. Are there any final comments that you'd like to say about the Pregnancy Help Center, or just repeat your info, how people can reach out to you?
Sure. I just like to say that I really appreciate you having me on today, and I really appreciate the patience of my staff and my volunteers as I'm coming on board and getting up to speed. And if you would like to reach me or speak with me, come by for a tour, get to know what we do there, ask questions. We would love to hear from you. And our phone number is 209-933-9131. And our website is phcstockton.org. And we would just love to hear from you.
All right, and thank you. It means a huge amount to me that you were here today. And before I sign off, I just want to give a shout out to Stockton Veterinary Emergency and Specialty Center, and a shout out to Rockets Team Trouble. Go out and support your community, see some amazing professional basketball, and let's make it a great day. Thank you.